So I think that I think the first empire was a colony. I think it was a colony. Now, whether this colony was connected to some kind of outlying empire or if it was like a corporation based colony, right? Because there are item descriptions on some of the lifter arms. The description for the Kale arm lifter arm says an arm from an ancient logistics unit. It has exceptional strength. These units were used in the corporate factories and warehouses of the distant past. Due to their inherent slowness, they were adapted to combat units like their cousins and remained behind production roles before they were buried in the ash. So, it's kind of implied that there was at least a corporate presence on Kenji during that first empire, and that they were the ones that were in charge a lot of the creation and stuff like that. They were involved in that aspect of things. Now, whether they were again the ones that settled Kenji or if they were just a corporation that maybe popped up afterwards, we don't know. But they were some kind of
Mhm.
colony that came, they terraformed Kenji, they colonized it, and I think my personal belief is that they used the skeletons, they created the skeletons en masse as a subservient workforce. That they could, pump out in mass numbers. They could eat. They were easily replicable, easily controllable, and they would pump them out on mass numbers and they would use them for the industrialization and the terraforming of Kenshi. You had brought up that Sabine makes the comment that like the first empire may have been predominantly skeletons and they may have been the ruling class. I personally don't agree. I think that the humans were probably the predominant class and the skeletons were just a larger workforce that was created by the humans. Because they're also there. In addition to that, there's dialogue from the skeletons. I think that when you go into obedience, the way that they say it, show kind of to me anyway, shows that the skeletons were created by humanity. So when the skeletons are when they go into obedience, they say man became afraid of the destructive capabilities of its own creations, implying they made the
Creation, yeah.
behemoths. And if anybody would know,
Mhm.
Sabine's kind of theorizing, whereas if anybody would know for certain, it's going to be one of the skeletons. They were there, they were there.
Yeah.
So I think to me that's a good enough indicator that maybe the skeletons were larger in population but less in control. I think they were a
Mhm.
subservient work